Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's DVMUG Zoom meeting. Today is the March 26, 2024. I'm Bruce, and I will be presenting today. Today we'll start, as usual, with some announcements that John might advise everybody on, followed by videos, and we'll have followed by news, and we'll have videos. And at the end of the videos, I have a short one that I managed to get in, just 47 seconds. If we have time, I'll present it. If not, we'll skip it. As usual, the links for this meeting, the news and video links are on the BBS. I put them out there. It's under my name. For those of you that don't have the BBS, please get a hold of John and have him help you set up your BBS so you can get to these announcements and the postings that we do out there.
They're in the. I posted them in the chat just a minute ago.
Oh, they're also in the chat. Well, that's good. Good to know. Anyway, all you got to do on those when you get to the BBS also is to click on one of those, whichever you want, the videos or the news, and the links are alive, they're activated. So just click on the link, and you'll be able to read the whole article. It's what's presented. It's not the full article. It's just a synopsis of stuff. So there you just see the whole article, and you can read at your own leisure. So we'll move on to announcements. One of the announcements is me. You're going to see me in sunglasses, and that's due to an eye problem that I'm having, and and my eyes are very sensitive to light. So at this point, I'm being kind of squinting here because I have to read. But anyway, I will put my sunglasses on. You'll see me in with sunglasses. So first, let's move to the news, and let's see. We're having some kind of, and the first thing is update, and update. John can fill you in on what we had to update in the past couple of days, and if you please, John, explain to us what needs to be updated.
Okay, so usually we're used to having all the updates come at one time, the iOS, the Mac OS, the TV, everything. Well, iOS came last week, and I was wondering where the Mac OS was, especially there was all this news about Sonoma had a whole bunch of issues. Well, yesterday came Sonoma, and also a Ventura and a Monterey Safari update. So if you have any of those, check your updates. The Sonoma one is a full install. It's 12 gigs. That's big. The Ventura got a patch. It's only half a gig, so that's pretty fast. And Monterey only got Safari, so that's no biggie. You don't even need a restart for that. But the Sonoma one's probably pretty important, and you should probably do it since there was serious problems with it. Print or USB hub problems, printing problems, iCloud files disappearing, which we talked about last week. So there you go. Go ahead and do those after the meeting if you haven't done them.
Well, thank you, John. And on that note, let's move on to the first story that I managed to dig up, and let's see what we can see. This is rumors and wishes. I put it under. Apple is in talks with Google regarding using Gemini power to power the iPhone AI features. So it sounds to me like Siri is going to be powered or be helped out with Google's Gemini. So I don't know what's coming what's it going to sound like and what we'll be getting, but they're talking to each other regarding using Google's AI facilities. And next is, well, they've been working on it for a while. An in-house Apple Watch display project has been canceled. So first we heard a couple of weeks ago the Apple car has been canceled. Now it's the Apple and it's the micro LED screen. Well, what that really is that stuff that those things are even smaller than the organic LED that they use right now. So this took Apple a few years, some years, and they got to the point where they don't have the proper equipment to be able to manufacture those screens. And so they pulled the project and they'll rely basically on OLED right now, the organic LED to provide uh, the watch faces and on the watch and possibly later on iPads and maybe further, but that project has been put on hold and people will be reassigned and some will be let go. So to add insult to injury, we have a judge has denied the attempt by Apple to dismiss a class action lawsuit over AirTag stalking. Apparently, there are people out there who have nothing better to do than to take advantage of other people. So they started stalking people using these um, little round tags that you can put in your bag or you can put in the car someplace and following you all over the place and this kind of stuff. And what happened, the next thing that happened was a class action suit was filed. Apple objected and the judge says, no, you got to go through it. You got to do something about it or you got to go through it. So Apple's now facing a lawsuit that they have to fight. And the next thing is getting from bad to worst. EU sues Apple for illegal monopoly over smartphones. One thing good for Apple, Apple has almost or over 75% of the iPhones, 75% of the iPhone market all over the world. So EU doesn't like that. And they said, well, we need to do something or you're going to have to alter your business practices. What I don't have on here right now is what I just read in the paper today. EU again opens a probe into the big tech, all three big tech companies. That includes Apple, Google, and Meta. For this is a law that was passed some years ago in the EU, and all three of those companies agreed to follow their law. For some reason, according to EU, they're not following the law. And if proven that they are not, they are looking at substantial penalties. So here's another one that Apple needs to fight, or all three of them need to do something about. So this is all the news I have for today, and next we'll have some videos to look at. So, and on with the show. Let's see. First, we'll have 10 tips from using the PDF menu in the print dialog. This is by Gary, and he explains it real well because I didn't know there were so many ways of doing it. So here we go.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you some tips for using the PDF menu in the print dialog. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to macmost.com/Patreon. There you can read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So as a Mac user, you probably already know about the PDF menu in the print dialog. Basically, when you're in almost any app that can print anyway, you can go to File Print or Command P, and then you get the print dialog. And in there you get this menu at the bottom that says PDF. If you click on the little arrow on the right side of that menu, you get a variety of different options, including Save as PDF. This allows you to create a PDF from almost anything. If you can print from the app, you can create a PDF from it because this is a function of the system, not the app itself. So an app doesn't need to have Export as PDF as an option to create a PDF. Here's one example where you may want to use it. There is no Export as PDF in the Maps app. So what if you want to create a PDF from this? Well, you could go to Print, and then from here you can click there and choose Save as PDF and save this out as a PDF version of that map. But even if the app has an Export as PDF menu command, the Print as PDF menu gives you more options. Let me show you. So my first tip is that you don't need to actually click on the menu and choose Save as PDF. This is actually kind of an unusual element here as it's both a menu and a button. The left side here is a button. Just click where it says PDF and it will instantly jump to the Save as PDF function. So now you can go right to actually naming the file and choosing a location. Now Pages is one of those apps that actually has in the File menu an Export to PDF option. But if you choose it, your options are basically just to export the entire thing as a PDF. You can change quality and a few other things, but you're exporting the entire thing. Using Print, you can use all of the different print options you've got here. So you can choose a range of pages. You can choose a selection of pages, so just maybe 2 out of the 3. And when you click the PDF button or choose an item from the menu, you're only going to get those pages. But you can use all the other options as well. So all these other options here, for instance for layout, for watermarking, for some of the specific options for the app, those are all taken into account as well. So for instance, I can do pages per sheet and choose 2, and you can see this is how it would print. This is also how it would save out as a PDF. So you can see this is my PDF that I get there, just like if it was a printed page. Now another great thing you can do with that menu is instead of just clicking PDF or Save as PDF is you can open in Preview. And this gives you the ability to see it as a PDF in preview, but you haven't saved it anywhere yet. You can see Command S is still saved. This is not saved anywhere. So you can take a look at the PDF, and if there's something you want to change, you could just close it and go back to Pages and make the changes and then do it again without having to constantly save and then delete a file. But the other thing you could do here is you could actually just print this way. So I've opened it up in Preview and it's a PDF now. So this is just a temporary PDF that's not saved anywhere. And notice I get a special print button at the bottom right hand corner. I can click on that to actually go and print it. So while you do get a preview in the print dialog, you get a more detailed preview that you could easily zoom in, examine things closely, jump around in before you print. You don't have to use that print button there. You could actually go to File, Print, or Command P, and then you get another print dialog and another print button. But here you could actually change some of the options before printing out without actually changing those options in the original app that you were using. Now what if you just want to print an area? This is a common thing that people want to do in, say, Numbers. But this will work in any app as long as you can print. So I'm going to do Command P to print here. And in Numbers you've got this additional preview step. I'll just go right to Print. And let's say I only want to print this chart right here. Well, I can use the PDF menu, open it in Preview, and now I see what I'm going to print. But if I go to the Markup Tools by clicking the Markup Tools button, click Selection, select an area, and then I do Command C to copy and Command N, which is new from Clipboard, I get a little PDF here, not yet saved, that is just that area. So from here I could go to Print again and just print that area, or I could save and then save this PDF of just this section here. Or if I go back a step to right after I've selected, I could copy and then go to another app and paste in the selection here as an individual element this whole time without actually having saved any file that I later need to get rid of. Another time you may want to use that is to just print or save as a PDF a portion of a web page. So I can Command P to print here and then choose Open in Preview. And now I can select just the portion of the web page that I actually wanted using the markup tools. And then Command C to copy, Command N for new, and I've got my new little section of the printout. Something I couldn't easily do directly from Safari. Also, when you print and then use Open in Preview, you've got all of the markup tools here. So you could draw, you could add shapes, you could add notes, all sorts of things. And then from here you could share or save so you can have an annotated version of your document without changing the original one. Now saving as a PDF is great, but what if you want to save out the document as an image? Well, you can start by going to Print and then Open in Preview. And now once you're in Preview, one of the things you can do is you can export, and one of the export options is to save it as a JPEG or another image format. And if you want, you could use the previous idea of selecting just a section, Command C, Command N, and then export that as an image. Now one request I often get is how can you use keyboard shortcuts to do all of this? Because if you do Command P to print, you need to use your mouse or trackpad and the pointer and go down here and either click the PDF button or click the menu and select an item. Well, one thing of course you can do is if the app does actually have an export to PDF option, you can set up a keyboard shortcut for that. Just go into System Settings, go to Keyboard, go to Keyboard Shortcuts, go to App Shortcuts, create a new shortcut perhaps just for that application like Pages. Use the exact menu title, PDF, and 3 dots, and then set the keyboard shortcut, let's say all the modifier keys in P, and then Done. And now when I go to Pages here I can see Export to PDF is actually that keyboard shortcut and I can get right to that functionality. But that doesn't get you to print and use this menu here. What will get you there is using the Tab key. But first go back to System Settings and under Keyboard again make sure you have keyboard navigation turned on. If you don't have it turned on then using the Tab key is just going to go between these 3 fields here. But with it turned on you can tab to all the buttons as well. Now you can keep tabbing all the way through until eventually you get to the menu there. But since this is near the end, it's better to use Shift Tab and go backwards. You go to Print, then Cancel, then PDF. Now since this is an unusual dual element here of a button and a menu, it's just going to go to the button. But you can use then the right arrow key to go to the menu and then the down arrow key to go into that menu, and then you can select a menu item from here like Open in Preview, Return, and do it all from the keyboard. It does take a few key presses to do this, but you can do it all with the keyboard. Now note there are some other options here. In addition to Open in Preview and Save as PDF, you've got Save as PostScript, probably something you don't need, but you also have Save to iCloud Drive, which will create a PDF and just save it. Save to a special folder called Web Receipts. You may or may not see that there. And Send in Mail. Send in Mail is particularly interesting because it will create a PDF and you can see how it attaches it to a new email message ready to send. But how about this Edit Menu option here? You select that. You see something called Printing Workflows and you can click the plus button to add one, but it's unclear as exactly what you would be adding here. So what this actually does is it will add new things to this list here, like the ability to save to a specific folder. How do you create those? Well, you have to run Automator on your Mac. You can't do this in the newer Shortcuts app. It has to be Automator. One of the options here when you create a new document is a Print plugin. That's when you want to select. You select Choose, and then you just want to search the library of actions here for Move and select Move Finder Items and then set the location. So let's just choose Desktop. You could choose Other and choose any folder you want. And then we're going to use this. We're going to save it and we're going to call this Save to Desktop and save. Now you may not see it in the menu first. If so, choose Edit Menu first. And now you'll see it there. Now I can select Save to Desktop and you can see absolutely no more action was needed on my part, yet there is the document. And back in Automator here you could also use Rename and you can put rename before this. You don't need to save a copy of it here because we're renaming something that's brand new. And you can have a whole specification for how the file should be named. Although in most cases the default name, like in this case alice.pages.pdf, was perfectly fine. So there are a whole bunch of tips for using that special PDF menu in the print dialog. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Well, there it is. It's a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of different ways to use save to PDF. I only used it once or twice, but I only saved the whole thing. I didn't know you could possibly cut up things and save the little bits and paste them someplace else. But any questions or comments?
My mind was just blown.
Yeah, I think I'm, what's it called, a gag and a gog. I like you, I didn't know you could do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've just done
Um,
Command P print and been done with it.
It becomes handy when you can. I found myself once trying to try to include a chart, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. But believe it or not, I didn't go to Gary. I went to Google and I used instructions from Google, and it worked. But he explains it a lot more, a lot easier, different ways of doing things.
I often
Okay,
use
so-
it to, if I find a web page that has a lot of valuable information and instructions that I want to keep, I'm afraid it's going to disappear. I'll do reader mode, which eliminates all the extraneous stuff, and then do save as PDF. And maybe not even, and then when it comes into PDF, if it's long and has multiple pages, you can take out the pages that you don't want and only keep the part of the article that you need to save. And then you have this nice little thing you can save and name what you want and save it where you want. And it doesn't take up very much space.
You know. Well, let's see. The next one is, and bear with me, please. How to create and send a FaceTime video message. Now I know I'm pretty sure we've seen this before. I just wanted to see it again. So here we go. This is Ellen, and let's hear what she says.
iOS and iPadOS 17 now have a handy feature to leave a recorded message if your FaceTime call isn't picked up. This video message can be spiced up with effects, and the recipient will see your missed call as well as your FaceTime message to know the context of your call. If we haven't met, I'm Ellen from ellenstipsforios.com, and I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There's no cost for doing so. Let's get started. When is FaceTime video message available? Well, it's available if the call couldn't be completed because of connectivity issues, airplane mode, or the device is turned off. The recipient didn't pick up your call even though it rang on their end. The recipient declined your call. And another thing to note is that FaceTime video message is not available on the Mac. If I want to record and send a FaceTime video to a friend who doesn't answer my call, what I'll do is I'll open up FaceTime, and when I do, I can either start a new FaceTime call, which would give me access to the contacts that I have. But since I already have a call here available to another device, that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and tap on this. And when I do, the call will be made. I'm going to go ahead and decline the call on my other device. And so now you see what happens when somebody declines a call or they're unavailable. You can either call again, try again, or you can record video. I'm going to go ahead and say record video. If you don't want to do anything, you could tap on close. I'm going to go ahead and record video, and a countdown timer is going to begin. I'm going to pause that for right now. And when I pause that, if I hit the record button immediately, it will begin the recording. You'll notice that I have access to the front-facing camera and the back facing camera. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on record now, and you'll see that the recording begins at the top of the screen, and I can leave a message, whatever I want, let's do lunch next week if you have time, whatever. But I can also use reactions, which are pretty cool. So if I put a thumbs up on the screen, you should see little bubbles begin to appear. If I put 2 thumbs up on the screen, now you see fireworks in the background. If I show the peace sign, once it picks it up, let's try it again. If I put the peace sign on the screen, I should get balloons. And so there are a few different reactions that you can use with hand gestures that are a pretty cool feature of this. But anyway, once you're finished your recording, you'll want to go ahead and you'll want to hit the stop button at the bottom of the screen. And now you'll get an option to retake that video if you want to, send that video, and if you want to save a copy of that video to your photo collection, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to say save, and then I'm going to tap on send. And now the person that I was having, that I wanted to call is going to receive that video message. After sending the video message, the recipient will see 2 notifications. One will show a missed FaceTime call, and the other notification has your FaceTime video message. Once the recipient taps the video message, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It should pop up in full screen, and they can either play the video clip, save the video to their Photos app, send you a message, call you back by tapping on the FaceTime button. The recipient can also go into FaceTime on their iPhone or iPad, and they will see the video call below the missed call entry. The message duration will be displayed, and one thing to note is that it seems as if the FaceTime video messaging can only be done for, I think, 3 minutes. That's how long the recording could be. And then they can tap to play the recording, save it, or call you back. As you can see, the video tile also appears in the recent section on my iPad, and I can go ahead and tap on that, and that same video will come up, and I can play it, save it, call the person back, whatever I need to do by tapping on the video tile. If you're wondering if the video message will be auto-deleted, like when sending an audio message via iMessage, which are deleted after 2 minutes, this isn't the case with FaceTime video messages. Even if you haven't saved it, the message appears in the FaceTime app and can be rewatched. Another thing to note is that the video record button is grayed out if a group call goes unattended. That may change at some point, but at this time, you cannot record a video to a group. If you're wondering if you can turn off FaceTime, the video message part of it, well, this feature isn't available. The best option you have is to not send a video recorded message. Just go ahead and tap close. If you're the receiver of a FaceTime video message, you can't opt out if someone sends you a video. The only way you could do that would be by turning off FaceTime. So you would want to come into the Settings app, and then you'd locate FaceTime and toggle off the switch for FaceTime. I'll conclude by saying that this feature could be misused. Someone could leave you an obscene video, but Apple's new communication safety and sensitive content warning may pick this up before you even watch the video. You can block these people so they will be unable to reach you. This feature is an excellent addition to FaceTime. Let me know if you plan to use it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Yes, my apologies for that black screen. This is one of the videos I was not able to download without that black screen. So just one of the technical problems we're dealing with. Any questions or?
Well, I got one comment. She said that audio messages delete after 2 minutes. You can change that.
uh,
If you send an audio message via text, you can go into settings, messages, scroll down, it says delete after 2 minutes or keep. So they're not necessarily deleted after 2 minutes.
Okay, good to know. Anybody else? Lee, you have a question?
No question.
Okay. Well, let's move on. And the next one is how to use stacks on the Mac. This is in case you have a whole bunch of stuff on your desktop. This will put it in stacks and you can deal with later on. So here we go. Oops.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let's take a look at using desktop stacks on your Mac. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 2,000 supporters. Go to MacMost.com/Patreon. There you could read more about it, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So desktop stacks is a feature that's been around for a few years, and it solves a particular problem that a lot of Mac users have. The problem is this: having a desktop that is littered with all sorts of different icons. Not only is this a lot of clutter, but it can reduce productivity, not being able to find things very easily. I find the best way to solve this problem myself is to simply not store any files at all in the desktop folder. But if you like having files on the desktop or find that you can't stop putting things there, then desktop stacks may be the solution for you to clean it up a bit. So to turn on desktop stacks, you can do it one of three ways. Now the first way is to go to View, and you should see Use Stacks right here in the View menu. But you have to have the desktop selected. So for instance, if you have another Finder window open, the Finder window here is selected. If you go to View, you're going to see Use Groups instead. And this applies to this window, not the desktop. You can select the desktop by clicking on it. And now you can see how this window isn't active anymore. Then if you go to View, you can see Use Stacks there. Or simply close the window so the only thing visible for the Finder is the desktop. And then you can go to View and then see Use Stacks. If you don't see Use Stacks here, it means the Finder is not the frontmost app, or you've got a Finder window chosen, not the desktop. So you can use this to turn it on. Second way, of course, there's a keyboard shortcut you can see right here, Control, Command, and then 0. Or you can use the context menu. You bring that out with either a control click, right click, or two-finger click on a trackpad on the desktop, and then you see Use Stacks. So with any one of these methods, if you turn it on, you're going to see this mess transform into this. These are stacks. Notice that each one represents a different kind of file. So I've got documents, images, movies, PDF documents, and so on. These aren't actually folders. No folders have actually been created. It's just grouping things together on the screen. So each file is still just there in the desktop folder. It's just now grouped visually. So if I want to see the individual files, I can do it by clicking on the group. So if I want to see the images, I click on the group here, and then all the images expand and they go into the next column if needed. And if I want to close it, I click again. So I can expand all the documents here. I can expand all the movie files like that. There's also another way to view what's in there. While things are open, if you want to do anything with these files, you certainly can. You can double click on one, for instance, to open it, and it'll open up in the default app. Or you can drag and drop it somewhere or do whatever you want. But you can't rearrange how they are here on the desktop since the desktop is now using stacks, so everything is set in place with these stacks. There is another way to actually view the items inside of a stack, and that's put your pointer over it, like I'm over the documents stack right now, and then using two fingers on the trackpad or mouse, you can move left and right like that over it, and it will scroll through the items. So you can use that to find something that you want and stop on it. And at this point, if you actually were to double click on the item, it actually would open it up and you can see the stack remains closed. So you don't need to open the stack to view what's in there. You can scroll back and forth with 2 fingers on a magic trackpad or magic mouse. Now, when you add new things to the desktop, they automatically go into these stacks. So they're always going to be active if you have stacks turned on. So for instance, if I were to take this photo here and let's copy it with Command C, and then I'm going to paste it on the desktop, you can see it pasted inside this stack here. But do note that this doesn't change your desktop folder when you view it as a Finder window. So if I create a new Finder window here and I go to the desktop folder, I'm going to see all the files, the same ones that are in these stacks, but my desktop folder still views in whichever view I'm using here. So I'm doing list. If I do icon view, everything's going to be set up here in the Finder window. Finder window shows your desktop contents independently of how they look on the actual desktop. So there's no stacks here in this. You can do view and use groups to group things together. So you get basically the same functionality in stacks, but whether you're using groups in the Finder window doesn't affect the stacks that are on the desktop. Now, by default, stacks are going to group by kind of file here, documents, images, movies, and so on. But you can go to View and then Group Stacks By and change that. So if you choose None, it's the same as turning new stacks off. But I can switch to another kind of grouping. Like for instance, let's do Date Created. And now you can see everything is sorted here by years. The kinds of groups you get depend on the range of dates that you've got. So if I go and instead group by, say, date last opened, I'm going to get today, previous 30 days, and years, and then earlier for even before those years. If I do it by tag, you can see I've got a couple files here that have tags and the rest are grouped with no tags. And you've got some other settings here as well. Date added and date modified. You can also group by shared by. So if you have a lot of shared files on your desktop, you can see all the ones that are shared and all the ones that are not shared in different stacks. So let's switch back to kind here. And I'm going to show you even more options. You get more options when you go to View and then Show View Options or Command J. This brings up the little window here with view options that changes depending upon what you have selected. So you're going to see different things in Finder view options if you have a Finder window open, for instance, maybe if it's in list view or icon view. But if you got the desktop selected here, this is what it looks like. And you've got Stack By, and selecting None is having stacks turned off, and Stack By is having one of those options we looked at before. But you also here can select Sort By. So for instance, if I look at PDF documents here, I could change it so I can sort by date modified instead of date added. So it's the sorting inside of each stack. So you can sort them by name, for instance. So you can also change the icon size as you can normally on the desktop, and this will affect the stacks. Useful to have it larger if you plan on scrolling through them using 2 fingers. You can also change grid spacing, the text size for the text under each one, and you can even have the label position go to the right instead of underneath. A particularly useful one that I like to have turned on if I'm using this is Show Item Info, and this will put the number of items in each stack, which is really useful. You can also change from showing an icon preview, whatever on top of the stack being the icon there, and then kind of a jumble of other icons underneath it. You could change that to using the default icon for that document type. So we have pages for pages documents, numbers for spreadsheets, the JPEG little image icon here for images, and so on. This is great for people that don't like to constantly see the icons changing on their desktop when they add new files or sort things. This will just keep everything using the same icon all the time. So there are a couple extra things to know about stacks. One is that if you have aliases, that those will group just like they're the real file. So for instance, I'm going to go to the applications folder. I know some people like to keep aliases to applications on the desktop. When you drag from the applications folder to the desktop, it automatically creates an alias. It doesn't try to actually move the file there. So let's move a couple of apps there. I'm going to move the calculator app here. And you can see here, since it's just one item, it just puts it there by itself. But if I put another item there, like the calendar app, you can see now it creates a stack called applications. And I get the aliases there. So aliases will group together in stacks just like regular files. But how about folders? Well, if we're on the desktop here and I create a new folder, the folder gets created there and it sits there by itself. And even if you add new folders, the folders don't stack. So any folders you have on your desktop will appear as just regular folders. You're not going to get a folders stack. Now it's okay to use stacks sometimes and not others. It's easy to turn it on and off. You just use the keyboard shortcut or just select in the menu there. Sometimes you might want to have stacks off. Sometimes you may want to have them on. Maybe you really do like working with a clutter of icons on the desktop, but you like to clean things up maybe when you're having a meeting or about to make a presentation, but not completely get rid of the items off of the desktop. So you can always use desktop stacks, never use desktop stacks, or you can use it sometime if you prefer. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
Well, now I know how to clean up my desktop. Any
Yeah,
questions?
the thing about it is it's not permanent, it's non-destructive. You can turn it off and it goes back to a mess.
Yeah.
But does it go back? But does it go back to the same mess it was before?
No, if you rely on icon positions and stuff to know where stuff is, then you got another problem.
Yeah. I've always said a clean desktop is just an illusion anyway.
It's a sound of a, no, never mind, never mind.
When did they add this? Which version of Mac OS?
Good question. Anybody know?
He didn't say.
It doesn't matter. I never knew about it, but now I
think
know
it's
how to
been
clean
there. I
up
think
my
it's been there
desktop.
for a while.
Yeah.
Well,
Away
anyone
from
find
Apple.
out, I'd like to know.
Oh, okay.
So I had somebody who found this useful, I thought. 27-inch iMac, and he had hundreds of files on the desktop. Hundreds.
Yeah.
And then what we did is we got a laptop, a MacBook, which had a 13-inch screen, much smaller, and we used documents and desktop in the cloud. So it put all those hundreds of items on his desktop on the 13-inch screen, and they were all piled on top of each other. You couldn't see anything. So very easy, just made stacks, and it kind of cleans it up and gets it out of the way so you can like deal with it. But when you want to, it doesn't affect the 27-inch, it only stacks them on the 13-inch.
You may know about this app already, but I have an app called Backdrop. And what it does is completely cleans your desktop and you see nothing. And if you have an app active, if you Alt tab into it or Command tab into it, it'll show up. But that way you can have instantly a clean desktop. And then you quit the app to go back to your normal desktop. Backdrop on the App Store.
Yeah, I've given up trying to convince people who do this to not do that, put hundreds of items on their desktop. They don't stop.
Well, like I said, why should my desktop on my laptop be any different than my physical desktop in the family room?
Yeah, you probably have piles of stuff on your desk. I would
Yes,
imagine.
I do, but I know where they are.
You know where they are. Don't touch them and move them. Somebody clumps them and cleans them up. And then where'd my stuff go? I don't know where it
Exactly.
is. Can't do that to their desktop either. They're like can't find anything.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about using this is like right after the cleaning people come here, there is a whole bunch of stuff I can't find for days.
Yeah.
And so if I do something like that, and it's like, well, it better be where it's at. So, okay. Anybody else? If not, next one is how to reset your AirPods, and it includes the Pro and the Max. I don't own AirPods, but I like to know how to do it. So here we go. This is a short thing by Apple.
Need to reset your AirPods? We'll show you how. We'll teach you how to reset your AirPods or AirPods Pro and how to reset your AirPods Max. First, let's reset your AirPods or AirPods Pro. Before you start, make sure the device they're paired with is updated to the latest version of iOS or iPadOS. You'll need to make sure your AirPods are unpaired before resetting them. To unpair them, place your AirPods in their charging case, close the lid, and wait 30 seconds. Then, open the lid. A card might appear letting you know your AirPods are connected. If so, tap to close it. Now put your AirPods in your ears. In Settings, your AirPods should appear under your name. If they don't appear here, you might need to check for them in your Bluetooth settings. Tap your AirPods and scroll all the way down in your AirPods settings. Then tap Forget this device. Then tap Forget Device and tap Forget Device again to confirm that your AirPods will be removed from all your devices connected in iCloud. Now they're unpaired. Next, place your AirPods back in their charging case with the lid open, even if they weren't previously paired. Your AirPods might be ready to connect right away, but we still need to reset them to factory settings. Let's tap the close button on this Connect card for now. Then, press and hold the setup button on the back of the case for about 15 seconds until the status light on the front of the case flashes amber and then white. Your AirPods should now be reset and ready to pair with your device. Now let's learn how to reset your AirPods Max. Before you start, make sure you charge your AirPods Max for a few minutes. You'll also want to make sure the device they're paired with is updated to the latest version of iOS or iPadOS. First, you'll need to make sure your AirPods Max are unpaired before resetting them. In Settings, your AirPods Max should appear under your name. If they don't appear here, you might need to check for them in your Bluetooth settings. Tap your AirPods Max, scroll all the way down in your AirPods settings, and tap Forget this device. If you're in your Bluetooth settings, tap the More Info button first. Then tap Forget Device, and tap Forget Device again to confirm that your AirPods Max will be removed from all your devices connected in iCloud. Now they're unpaired. Your AirPods Max might be ready to connect right away, but we still need to reset them to factory settings. Let's tap the Close button on this Connect card for now. Now, press and hold the noise control button and the digital crown on top of the right earphone for about 15 seconds, until the LED near the bottom of the right earphone flashes amber and then white. Your AirPods Max should now be reset and ready to pair with your device. Now that you know how to reset your AirPods, you can get back to grooving out. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel or click another video to keep watching.
So, for those of you that have these devices, there's some instructions now. You know, I just to add something, I don't know how Apple does this, but every time they come up with something is to me, I got to have it. It's like I have problems hearing also, and this will help me. I'm gonna have to go get that. I had no idea that they look different. The headphones, I didn't think that was part of AirPods, but apparently that's those are AirPods, and supposedly do more than just those little things that you put in your ears.
Why would
Anybody
someone
else
need to
have anything else to say?
Why would someone need to reset theirs? What would be the occasion for needing to do that?
Because they don't work sometimes and they don't connect and they go haywire. Periodically, I got to reset them.
I see.
They're not as reliable as they claim. They say over the time, they say, oh, they made it so they connect better. It switches between your phone and your computer and the Apple TV automatically. That doesn't happen for me. Every time I go to the Apple TV, I have to, usually if I use them somewhere else, I have to go and manually reconnect them.
So on the previous one, who was it who was asking how far back stacks go?
Yeah, did you find an answer?
Yeah, it looks like they go back at least to High Sierra.
Oh, a long time.
I just put a help page in, and on that you select what Mac OS you're using, and the choice goes all the way back to High Sierra.
Yeah,
That
because
was Bill, I believe.
the 13-inch laptop we did it on was Mojave. That's right.
Thank you, Kenji. Okay, next one is how to keep your iPhone safe when it's stolen, I believe. With stolen, how to enable stolen protection on your device. And it's Ellen again, so here we go.
Storing your data, credit card information, and photos on your iPhone makes life easier. But if your iPhone is stolen, your information is at risk. In iOS 17.3, Apple released the Stolen Device Protection feature. This feature will make it harder for anyone using your iPhone to access your most sensitive data. If your iPhone isn't in a GPS location that you frequent, the Stolen Device feature will make it that much harder to access. Welcome to Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. You must take some preliminary steps before enabling the Stolen Device feature. Two-factor authentication and Face ID or Touch ID must be enabled. So if you have a device that has Face ID, you'll want to go ahead and open the Settings app, locate Face ID and passcode, and if you haven't already set this up, you'll want to go ahead and just follow the prompts. In my case, I already have Face ID set up. If you have a Touch ID, you'll follow the same instructions. It'll say Open Settings, tap on Touch ID and passcode, and follow the prompts. The last preliminary step is to turn on location services. This allows Apple to track your location and determine which places you frequent. If your iPhone is suddenly outside your frequented locations, Stolen Device Protection will turn on. To enable location services, you'll open the Settings app, which I've already done. You'll locate Privacy and Security, tap Location Services at the top, and make sure that that toggle switch is turned on. Now that we have the preliminary steps out of the way, here's how to turn on Stolen Device Protection. You'll go ahead and you'll open the Settings app. You'll scroll down until you see Face ID and passcode. You'll enter your passcode. And once you've entered your passcode, scroll down until you see Stolen Device Protection. Tap on that and toggle that switch on. I have require security delay. I have mine set up for away from familiar locations. Now let's talk about additional tips to protect your iPhone data from thieves. The first tip, use a robust alphanumeric code on your iPhone. So along with Face ID or Touch ID, the alphanumeric code can easily be used to access your iPhone. When your iPhone restarts, it automatically requests the passcode instead of Face ID. So a thief only needs to restart your device, and if they have your passcode, they can access your data. Go for either a longer numeric passcode or a longer alphanumeric passcode. To access this setting, let me show you. We're going to come in to the Settings app. We're going to scroll and we're going to tap on Face ID and passcode. Enter your passcode and you'll see that I have a very short 4-digit code, but that's to allow me to get in quickly when I'm doing video. Scroll down until you see Change Passcode. Tap on Change Passcode. Here you'll see that you're going to enter the current passcode, and once I do, you're going to see passcode options appear. Tap on that. Either use a 6-digit numeric passcode or create a custom or custom alphanumeric passcode. Make that passcode strong so that nobody will be able to figure out your passcode and get into your device. Tip number 2, don't type passwords in public. Law enforcement claims criminals use crazy techniques to discover people's passcodes. So cover your iPhone screen while in public when typing your passcode. Also be sure you're using Face ID or Touch ID. Tip number 3, apps like Venmo, PayPal, and bank accounts allow you to use Face ID and passcode options. Don't use the same passcode as you do on your iPhone. Make your password strong. Tip number 4, don't rely on iCloud Keychain. If thieves know your passcode, they can easily access your passwords in iCloud Keychain. This would give them access to banking information if stored in Keychain. I use a third-party password manager called 1Password that supports Face ID, but also requires a master password if unsuccessful. Only you can keep your data secure from thieves. Avoid public Wi-Fi. Use two-factor authentication. Be aware of your surroundings to keep your data safe from prying eyes. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
There we go. Any questions or comments?
So the familiar locations, that's a database that Apple keeps, but you can't get access to it. It'll show you, I think, your most recent location that it thinks is a favorite location, but you just kind of have to trust Apple on that. And
So a new update, I think, very recent was after they released that feature, then a software update gave you the option to turn that off, so it doesn't use frequent locations. It always requires.
right, she showed us that in the video.
Did she?
Yeah, that there's now an option to always require it.
Right.
The point of
Because
this is if you use a 4 or 6 digit numeric device unlock code, which I think most of us do, if not all of us, if somebody looks over your shoulder, say in a bar, and sees you type your number in, if they then snatch the phone, where this happened is in bars where people are drinking, they lay their phone down on the bar, they either just slip your phone away, or in some cases they strong arm rob you for your phone. They can use the unlock allows people to change your Apple ID on the phone, and there was a Wall Street Journal article that Ken let us know about that also got a lot of press.
Well, this stops that. So they can't change your Apple ID password without your biometrics, your Touch ID, your Face ID. It eliminates able to put in your 4 or 6 digit password to change your Apple ID.
Or at least it delays it.
Well, it delays it for an hour or something.
Which would hopefully give you enough time to get to another device and
Right.
change it yourself remotely.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Apple ID, well, that was before, I guess, maybe, a dual authentication? In other words, they'll send you a code.
Yeah, but if you have a device, you get the code.
Right. So when I work on people's computers on their Mac, a lot of times they're not logged into their Apple ID. They don't know their password. How do you fix that? You can do it on the Mac, but it's not easy. If their phone, if they have their iPhone and it's currently logged into their Apple ID and it's working, it's real easy. You just open up your Apple ID and under password, you just say change password. You don't have to do anything. You just do it. No two-factor, no nothing. It just does it. And then you can put that new password in the Mac and you're done. That's what they're trying to stop. Being able to change your Apple ID.
Okay, does anybody else? We've got one more that's not on the list, and this is I think it's like a 47-second one. It's an Apple video,
Go
and
for
it's
it.
how to take a screenshot and record the screen on your Mac. So
Capture what's on the screen on your Mac with a screenshot or a screen recording. Here's how. We'll show you how to take a screenshot using keyboard shortcuts and how to use the Screenshot app to record your screen. Let's learn about the different keyboard shortcuts you can use to take a screenshot. We'll start by capturing the entire screen. When you have something on your screen that you want to take a screenshot of, press Shift-Command-3. A thumbnail of your screenshot will appear in the bottom right corner of your screen. You can click it to edit or share the screenshot right away, or you can wait for it to appear on your desktop. If you want to capture a portion of your screen, press Shift-Command-4. This turns your pointer into a crosshair. Move it to where you want to start the screenshot, click and drag to select an area, and then release your mouse or trackpad. You can press the Escape key to cancel taking the screenshot at any time. Now let's take a screenshot of a window. To do this, press Shift-Command-4 and then the spacebar. This will change the pointer to a camera. Move the camera over to the window or menu you want to capture, which becomes highlighted to confirm that it's selected. Then click to take the screenshot. To record the screen on your Mac, you can use the built-in Screenshot app. To open it, press Shift-Command-5. When the Screenshot toolbar appears, you can drag it to move it around if you'd like. The buttons on the left side let you capture a still image of your screen. To make a video recording of everything on your screen, you can click the Record Entire Screen button. Or, to record a specific area, click the Record Selected Portion button and a recording area appears while the rest of your screen dims slightly. You can move the frame to reposition it and drag the edges to adjust the size of the area you want to record. When you're ready, click Record to start recording the screen on your Mac, and the Screenshot toolbar will disappear. To stop recording, click the Stop Recording button in the menu bar, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Command-Control-Escape. Your screen recording appears as a thumbnail in the bottom right corner of your screen. You can click it to edit or share the screen recording right away, or you can wait for it to appear on your desktop. Now you're ready to capture what's on the screen on your Mac, so you can save it, share it, and more. To learn more about your Mac, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel, or
yeah, that sounds like you could actually record stuff that you can't record of iPhone. I mean, YouTube. I'm gonna have to try that one. Anybody have anything else to say about that?
Did it get the video audio too, or just video?
I believe it does both.
It works, and you have to be sure that your audio is turned on for in order to collect it.
I always do this one more, John, sorry, or I just, he didn't mention that you edited in preview. You know, screenshot and save to a different name. I always do this, screenshot anyway. I don't know about the video, I haven't tried that. That's all.
Well, thank you.
I've been using a third-party program for years called Snagit, which from TechSmith, and which records and edits screenshots and videos, and with a lot more options. It's a really great program. Little pricey when you first buy it, but to me, well worth it.
I remember when I was still working, we used Snagit That goes back some time. Well, anyway, I apologize. That wasn't the last video. This hopefully is the last video. And this is how to turn the iPhone on and off.
Here's how to turn off your iPhone and how to turn it back on. We'll show you how it works if your iPhone has Face ID or if it has a home button. If your iPhone has Face ID, press and hold the side button and either volume button until the sliders appear. Then drag the power off slider. If your iPhone has a home button, press and hold the side button until the sliders appear. Then drag the power off slider. To turn either iPhone back on, just press and hold the side button until the Apple logo appears. To learn more about your iPhone, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel or click another video to keep watching.
So this is including me, where we get a couple of words mixed up. In other words, when we ask people, have you turned off your iPhone or you turned your phone off? Well, just clicking the side button doesn't do it. You gotta wait for that slider to move it over till the thing turns off, and then wait. That means that it actually turns the device off.
Or reboots. So that's how when somebody wants you to reboot your phone, just pushing the side button, the screen bubble back, that just puts it to sleep. That's not restarting your phone.
Right. So sometimes, when things start misfiring on your phone, the first thing that John always said is to turn it off and turn it back on. And that means that slider's got to be moved over till the thing turns off and reboots it. Usually resolves all the problems. So I guess this is it. And next we have questions and answers in social hour. So
I have a question about that, well, related to that. So now when you go to turn off your phone, it gives you the choice of the slider, SOS, or medical ID. Has anybody set up medical ID in their phone?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
And
Same
what
here.
does that, what does
Absolutely, yes.
what does that
Absolutely,
mean?
you should do that. Gary did a video on it. He has a whole video on doing that.
Okay.
But you put the stuff you fill out in your medical ID is available, even if your phone is locked to medical emergency. They're trained to look at that. If you're unconscious, they get your phone, they can see your vitals and your medications and whatever else you put in there.
Yeah, they're able to get, when your phone's locked, they're able to get into it. There is a combination, and whatever you put in there, whoever phone number you put in there, they'll follow it. So
Yeah. Emergency or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to choose what's shown, but yeah, absolutely, you should fill that out.
So is there any chance that somebody could get a malactor could get access to your information?
Well, you choose what gets shown to the medical emergency people. So you can choose very little or whatever you want to show them. Whatever it is, whatever would save your life.
Yeah. I mean, there's a thing, and I mean, they could find out what meds I'm on, and the worst case scenario is how tall and how much I weigh. But yeah.
Right, your blood type, whatever is important, your allergies.
Donation, it says here, health records. And then you can also go ahead.
I put in my pacemaker card that tells the manufacturer and the serial number, if that's any good to them. It's in my wallet too, but
Should we start the questions and answers?
Right, we're going to, that's enough of that
right now.
Okay, hold on. So the people are watching on YouTube, we're going to end the recording we're going to start a new recording for Q&A. And for people who are DVMUG members, you'll be able to access that portion of Q&A only by logging into the BBS, and there'll be a link there. So that will not be public. Okay? So stand by and if you don't know how to get on the BBS, you can look in your Sunday newsletter from us and contact me or Ann. We're listed in there with help for the BBS. If you don't have an account, you can directions on how to do it and get it, or if you need help, you can contact us. Okay, let's stop that portion of the recording. Say bye-bye. Hopefully see you later.